Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason, and today I'm going to talk about video games that I'd like to see made into games. It can be a sequel or a game I've never heard, done, but I'm going to look at like sequels I'd like to see made, and some of them might already be in the works, but I'm still going to say it anyway. But then some of them aren't. I made a list because. There's I didn't want to have to memorize it. I'm being lazy today. So, just to get it out of the way, Legend of Dragoon 2. That's all I'm going to say. Because you guys know how much I love the game. But, I'd like to see another Splatterhouse game. We had the original 3, and then we had Wampaku Graffiti for the NES. And then we had the 2010 game for the Xbox and the PlayStation 3, and it didn't do very well. But I love the game. It did have some issues. The loading times were a little long, and it had some things wrong with it, but it wasn't a perfect game. But I love the story in the game, and I think they left it open for a sequel. And I just think that they could do really well with it if they actually really, give it another try. I also heard that the Namco fired or whatever, they let go a bunch of people that worked on Splatterhouse. So I don't know. The game had a lot of issues. But I would like to see another one made. I'd really like to see another Legacy of Kain game. I love the Soul Reaver series, and the Blood Omen series, the Blood Omen part of it, I don't like as much, but I love the Soul Reaver side. I would actually, here's an idea, I'd love to see a prequel, because before the first Soul Reaver game, you had 1,000 years of Raziel and Kain together, and it would have been nice maybe to see a story with them. Or, just make another game after, because Legacy of Kain Defiance was the last game, and it kind of wrapped everything up. But if they got a good idea, I'd love to see a new game, because I love the Legacy of Kain series. I think it's really good, and it's really underrated. I'd really like to see a sequel to The Last of Us. It's one of my favorite PS3 games. I played through it 3 times. Actually, the day I had my heart attack, I was playing it. And when I got out of the hospital, I finished the game up. Because it's a really good game. So I guess every time I play that, I'm going to think of the heart attack. But that's okay. Think positive about it. It's one of my favorite PS3 games. And I'd say it is my favorite PS3 game at this point, now that I think about it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think about, it's one of the PS3 games I've played through 3 times, so it's really good. They tied everything up, but they also, the world that they're in is so open. They can go and do so many things in this world to where, they could go on a mission to where Ellie, is a little bit older and Joel's a little older, so they go and maybe something happens, or they find out something else. Maybe there's a rumor coming through, and they go to find out if it's true, or something. Just anything. I just think that the game has got the story, and that the whole world with that is got so much going on. Or maybe have some other characters, or I don't know. I think if they had other characters, they wouldn't be as. They'd have to be written really well. So. But I love the series. I love the first game. It's not a series yet, I guess, but I love the first game. And I would like to see a sequel. I'd really like to see a sequel to another Shadow of the Colossus game. Now, I know that Ico was really the sequel to Shadow of the Colossus. I've never played Ico. I have it, but I've never played it. I played it for actually tried playing it for a first few minutes, and it was a little really weird. I was in this room, and there was like this shadow thing you got to release, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, and I was getting real frustrated. And instead of just looking at the walkthrough, I just put the game down, and I was like, I don't know. Because I know it's not like Shadow of the Colossus where you're climbing onto these beasts trying to kill them. And I like that they did that in the Lords of Shadow. Lords of Shadow, they had some boss fights like that. And it wasn't, and they were actually easier in Lords of Shadow because in Shadow of the Colossus you had the grip meter. So when he grips, he can only hold on for so long. But those games were really fun, and they kept it real simple. I don't even know what the story's about in Shadow of the Colossus, to be honest. I mean, they had subtitles, and they're saying all this stuff, and I just whizzed through them. I didn't care. I just wanted to... I know he was trying to save his girlfriend, bring her back to life, but I didn't care about all that. I just wanted to go fight these monsters, go find them and just fight them, and they were just so cool to do. And yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I mean, it was very challenging. It was just a lot of fun. I'd love to see just a second game just like it. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I'd like to see another Eternal Darkness. The first Eternal Darkness was really good, and I know it gets some mixed reviews. Like the happy video game nerd Derek, he didn't really like it. He just said the game just wasn't for him, and I get it. You know, he had to do 2 reviews on it. And I get it. You know, it's a different game. The game is just really, really fun for me. It scared the crap out of me a few times. It's got some scares in it. I like that whole sanity thing where they would do these scares. But there's I don't know. There's just something about the game I just really enjoyed. And I've been thinking about playing it again. And I just love anything where we can make another horror game makes me happy. Just a good horror game, and Eternal Darkness was just really good in my book. And I'd love to see it, you know, on the PlayStation 3 or one of the PlayStations or the Xboxes or something. Just on the newer hardware, I think it would look really good, or even the Wii U. Even though I don't know, I say PS3 because that's what I own. But you know, if they make other systems, it'd give me a reason to buy them. So I think they should. You know what? Here's another game, and it's last game I'm going to talk about today. And it's certainly not least, but I want Leisure Suit Larry 4. And if you guys know about the Leisure Suit Larry series, you're going to kind of laugh at this. Okay, here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, Leisure Suit Larry 1, 2, and 3 were made. Then Leisure Suit Larry 5 was made. And Leisure Suit Larry 5, part of the game was trying to find what happened to Leisure Suit Larry 4. The missing floppies, as they called it. And I guess there's a rumor that while they were making Leisure Suit Larry 4, they lost the floppy, they lost the discs for it, and instead of remaking it, they just decided to make the 5th game and said, screw it. I don't know if it's true, but they made it like they made it a joke in the 5th game that the missing floppies were there, and Larry had to find them, and it was just because he was, and plus he's hanging out with Passionate Patty, and they're doing their thing, and it was just pretty funny. I liked the games. I grew up playing those games. I played all the Sierra Online stuff. I played a lot of King's Quest, and I played the first Space Quest. I played the remake Space Quest with the updated graphics. I never got to play Police Quest. I always wanted to, and I also played things like the Adventures of Willie Beamish, the Robin Hood game they made, Lost in L.A., but my favorites were King's Quest and Leisure Suit Larry. I played those all the time. See, when I was growing up, I didn't play a lot of console games, and that's why I'm getting all into it now, because I played all these Sierra Online games because I had an old in 1989 we had a old what was it? It ran DOS. It was a God, my brain's farty. It was a crappy old computer by today's standards, but at the time my parents paid $1,000 for it in 1989. But it was a fun little computer, and when we got Windows 95 for it, or Windows 3.1, I mean, it seemed like it didn't really impress me. I didn't even use it. I used something else. that had a really cool Tetris program on it, 'cause I played a lot of Tetris. And, but yeah, it used to run these games. I remember the computer had a 40 megabyte hard drive, and it had a 2 megabytes of RAM. And that's what it was. And I actually had to double space the hard drive so I could get like 60 to 65 megabytes of hard drive space. It was really, really bad. It was a cool old computer though. I had it for years. I was using it up until like 2000, until I got a Pentium 3 at the time. And then that computer was like, wow, that thing's so cool. Because I wasn't too much into computers back in the 90s, because I was working a lot. I just wasn't into it. So, and I didn't have the money at the time. And then we finally we had some money. My parents and my parents had some money, so they bought a Pentium 3. They paid like, I think they paid like, with the printer and everything, they paid like, or no, not even the printer. They paid everything. They paid like $1,200, something like that. It was a pretty decent computer for the time. And but yeah, it's I'd like to see just some of these are the games I'd really like to see made. And what are your games you guys would like to see? I'll probably think of more. I'll do another one of these when I think of more games. But this is just a little startup video for it. But yeah, tell me what games you guys would like to see, and we can have, spark a little bit of a discussion. So, anyway, guys, it's Video Game Corner, and I'm Jason, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.